Welcome to this session on methodology for compiling gross value added estimates for mining and quarrying industry. In this presentation, we will learn about the methodology being followed by National Accounts Division NSO, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation for the same. We will see how the GVA estimates for mining and quarrying are compiled for the nation as a whole, and then how this All India GVA is allocated among the states. So let's begin with the introduction of the mining and quarrying industry. Mining is the process of extracting the minerals buried below the earth's surface, whereas quarrying refers to the extraction of minerals from the earth's surface. The economic activities covered in mining and quarrying sector comprise extraction of minerals which occur in nature as solids, liquids or gases to the extent they are carried on at the mine site or up to the first point of sale from underground and surface mines and quarries and oil wells. With all supplementary operations for dressing and beneficiating ores and other crude minerals needed to render the material marketable. Apart from the above, salt production by solar evaporation of seawater is also considered under mining sector. Now, to calculate the GVA of the mining and quarrying sector, the minerals extracted from mining and quarrying have been divided into two subcategories: major minerals and minor minerals. Major minerals have been further divided into three categories: fuel minerals, metallic minerals and non-metallic minerals including salt. The minor minerals have been divided into two parts: sand and minor minerals other than sand. Now, the GVA calculated for major minerals comes under organized sector and the GVA estimated from minor minerals come under unorganized sector. Now, let us talk about the institutions involved in organized mining and quarrying. There are only two institutions involved in organized sector of mining and quarrying: non-departmental enterprises and private corporate. Firstly, let us take a look at the definitions of these institutions. NDEs, non-departmental enterprises. These were earlier known as non-departmental commercial undertakings, that is NDCUs. These NDEs are basically government companies or public corporations registered under Companies Act 1956 or 2013 and having 51% or more share of government. Public corporations are set up in central or state government act and wholly owned or controlled by the public authorities. The second institution involved in organized mining and quarrying is private corporate. This institution includes joint stock companies registered under the Companies Act 1956 or 2013 in the private sector. Now, let us take a quick look at the list of major minerals. As told earlier, major minerals are divided into three parts: fuel minerals, metallic minerals and non-metallic minerals. Coal and petroleum and natural gas come under fuel minerals. This is the list of 13 metallic minerals, namely bauxite, chromite, copper, gold, iron, lead, manganese, tin, silver, zinc, etc. This is the list of 28 non-metallic minerals. You can see that the salt evaporated is included in the non-metallic minerals. Now we will see how the All India GVA of fuel minerals is estimated. The main data sources to estimate the All India GVA of fuel minerals are: for non-departmental enterprises, the annual reports of coal and petroleum companies, and for private corporate sector, MCA 21 database, that is Ministry of Corporate Affairs database of coal and petroleum companies. The methodology followed for estimating the All India GVA of fuel minerals is following. For non-departmental enterprises and private corporate both, the GVA is estimated using production approach from their respective data sources. In production approach, GVA gross value added is calculated by subtracting the intermediate consumption, that is IC, from the total output, gross value output of the company. Now we will see how the state-wise GVA of fuel minerals is estimated. The main data sources for estimating the state-wise GVA are: for non-departmental enterprises, the data sources are annual reports of coal and petroleum companies and Department of Public Enterprises publication, that is DPE publications. For private corporate sector, the MCA 21 database of coal and petroleum companies is used, and for the coal directory from Office of Coal Controller is used, and for petroleum and natural gas, the data comes from Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Now after talking about the data sources, let us come to the methodology being followed for non-departmental enterprises. So there are two types of non-departmental enterprises: center NDEs and state NDEs. The GVA of state NDEs is allocated directly to the respective states. The GVA of center NDEs is divided in two parts: CE, compensation to employees, and the remaining part, GVA minus CE. CE of center NDEs is allocated amongst states on the basis of number of employees in the states. The remaining part, GVA minus CE of center NDEs, is allocated amongst states on the basis of gross blocks based on DPE publications. Now after the methodology of non-departmental enterprises, let us take a look at the methodology being followed for private corporate sector. In private corporate, for coal, the All India GVA of coal is divided amongst states on the basis of state-wise value of production of coal in private sector. This data is obtained from table 6.2 in coal directory of Office of Coal Controller. For petroleum and natural gas, the allocation of All India GVA into states is done on the basis of state-wise production of crude oil in private sector. This data of state-wise production of crude oil in private sector is obtained from Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Now, after the All India GVA and state-wise GVA of fuel minerals, let us see how the All India GVA of the remaining major minerals, that is metallic and non-metallic minerals, is estimated. The main data source to estimate the All India GVA of metallic and non-metallic minerals are: for non-departmental enterprises, annual reports of companies, and the IBM publications, Indian Bureau of Mines publications, and also the input rates received from IBM. For private corporate institution, the MCA 21 database is used, and the Indian Bureau of Mines publications and input rates from IBM are used for metallic and non-metallic minerals other than salt evaporated. For the salt evaporated, the data from Salt Commissioner's Office is used. Now, after talking about the data sources for estimating the All India GVA of metallic and non-metallic minerals, let us see the methodology being followed for estimating the same. For non-departmental enterprises, the GVA is calculated through production approach. GVA equal to GVO minus IC. Now this total All India GVA is divided into three categories: ferrous metallic minerals, non-ferrous metallic minerals, and non-metallic minerals. Now these three GVAs are separately distributed among respective minerals in the proportion of GVA estimated from the data of IBM. Indian Bureau of Mines provides the gross value output for the minerals and the input rate for each mineral. The GVA is estimated from these value of output and input rate with this formula: GVA equal to GVO into 100 minus input rate by 100. The input rate is nothing but the amount of input required to produce 1 unit of output. So the value added is estimated by this formula. Now let us see what is the methodology being followed for private corporate sector in respect of All India GVA of metallic and non-metallic minerals. For private corporate sector, the GVA is also estimated using production approach from MCA 21 database. Now this total All India GVA of metallic and non-metallic minerals is distributed among all the minerals in the proportion of mineral wise GVA estimated from the data of IBM. And the formula to calculate the value added, gross value added with the help of output and input rate is as follows. Now the salt evaporated part is also included in private corporate. So the GVA of salt evaporated is estimated from the data obtained from Salt Commissioner of India. They also provide the output and the GVA is estimated with the help of these. The input rate of salt evaporated is 12.31% fixed in base year. Now after estimating the All India GVA of metallic and non-metallic minerals, let us see how the state-wise GVA of metallic and non-metallic minerals is estimated. The main data sources to estimate the state-wise GVA of metallic and non-metallic minerals are for non-departmental enterprises, annual reports of companies, and state-wise data from Indian Bureau of Mines publications and input rates from IBM. So in IBM publications we can find the mineral-wise data and the state-wise mineral-wise data as well. The input rates are also provided by IBM. For private corporate sector also, the MCA 21 database and state-wise IBM publications and input rates from IBM are used for metallic and non-metallic minerals. For state-wise GVA estimation of salt evaporated, the data from Salt Commissioner's Office is used. Now, after looking into the data sources of state-wise GVA of metallic and non-metallic minerals, let us see the methodology being followed for estimating the same. For non-departmental enterprises, all India GVA of all the minerals is distributed among the states in the proportion of state-wise GVA estimated from the data of IBM. Similarly, for private corporate institution, for the minerals other than salt evaporated, all India GVA of all the minerals is distributed among the states in the proportion of state-wise GVA estimated from the data of IBM. For the salt evaporated part, the state-wise GVA is estimated from the data received from Salt Commissioner of India. So far, we talked about all the major minerals, fuel minerals, metallic minerals and non-metallic minerals. Now, let us talk about the all India and state-wise GVA of minor minerals. Firstly, we will talk about the minor minerals other than sand, and then we will talk about the sand separately. The main data sources for estimating these GVA, all India and state-wise both, for minor minerals other than sand are state geological departments and input rates from IBM. The methodology followed for estimating the all India and state-wise GVA of minor minerals is very simple. The all India GVA is the sum of GVA of all the states. The GVA of the state is the GVO of the state into 100 minus input rate divided by 100. Now the input rate used for minor minerals is nothing but average of input rates of all the non-metallic minerals received from IBM. Now, after talking about the minor minerals other than sand, let us take a look at the all India GVA of minor mineral sand. So the data sources for estimating the GVA of sand are the GVO of construction sector and the input rate from IBM. The methodology being followed for estimating the all India GVA is as follows. The GVA of sand received from construction sector at purchaser's price. So firstly, we convert this GVO at basic prices. Basically, the converting from purchaser's price to basic prices means the adjustment of TTM. So GVO at basic prices is equal to GVO at purchaser's price and divided by 3.22. This ratio was fixed in the base year. Now the GVA of sand is estimated by the same formula with the help of the value of output calculated in this step, and the input rate of sand will be equal to average of input rates of all the non-metallic minerals received from IBM, and hence we calculate the all India GVA of sand. Now, after talking about the all India GVA of sand, how the state-wise allocation of this all India GVA of sand is done. So the main data sources for state-wise allocation of sand GVA is the state geological departments and input rates from IBM. The methodology being followed is very simple. All India GVA of sand has been allocated to the states in the proportion of sand production received from the state geological departments. So far, we have seen how the mining and quarrying GVA is estimated for all India and state-wise for all the minerals at current prices. Now we will see how these GVAs in current prices are converted into constant prices. To do the same, we follow the following methodology. For fuel minerals, that is coal and petroleum and natural gas, the respective wholesale price index, that is WPI, has been used to obtain the estimates at constant prices. For other minerals, the ratio of constant GVA to current GVA of the IBM data is used to obtain the estimates at constant prices. So we have already seen how the current GVA of IBM is estimated. Now how the constant GVA of IBM is estimated by this formula. You can see constant GVA of IBM data is equal to current year quantity into base year price into 100 minus input rate by 100. So this base year price is provided by IBM. Current year quantity is also provided by IBM. So by this we calculate the GVO at constant prices, and the GVA at constant prices is obtained by converting the GVO at constant prices with the help of input rate. So thank you so much. I hope this presentation was helpful to make some understanding about the estimation of all India and state-wise GVA of the mining and quarrying sector. Thank you.